Welcome to Millionaire Blueprint. This explainer is your dedicated resource for decoding the strategies, habits, and investments that actually build real wealth. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Most people think the moment they start making money, life is just supposed to magically get easier. The stress is going to vanish, right? Everything will just fall right into place. But let me ask you, is that actually what happens when most people get a bump in pay? Because what usually happens is they earn a little more, so they spend a little more. They look a little richer, but quietly, they stay exactly where they were. It's the exact same stress, the exact same chaos, the same bad habits, just, with a nicer phone and a way bigger monthly payment. This is exactly why some people get a raise and finally start building real wealth, while other people get a raise and somehow end up even more broke than before. Their bad habits just scaled up with their paychecks. To help you avoid that trap, we've organized these 10 crucial upgrades into 5 core pillars. We've got the income illusion, securing your financial base, upgrading your internal engine, maximizing your daily output, and finally, the ultimate wealth upgrade. This is your roadmap for shifting from a consumer mindset straight to a builder mindset. Starting off with Section 1, the income illusion, why money reveals what is broken. Money does not automatically upgrade your life. It reveals what was already broken. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. True wealth is all about upgrading the things that make you harder to knock off course. If your systems, your habits, and your protections are fundamentally broken, extra income is just going to shine a massive spotlight on those cracks. Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds your foundation. Securing your financial base, runway, systems, and protection. Let's start with the one almost nobody gets excited about. Upgrade number 1 is your financial runway. In other words, your emergency fund. Now, I know this is not sexy. Nobody dreams about opening their banking app and getting all emotional over a pile of cash just sitting there doing nothing. But let me tell you something. There is a reason so many people stay trapped. It's not always because they don't earn enough. It's because every tiny emergency becomes a full-blown crisis. A car repair, a broken appliance, a medical bill, a gap between contracts. One hit and suddenly the credit card comes out, the interest starts piling up, and now the problem isn't the emergency anymore. The problem is the debt that followed it. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is actually very clear on this. Emergency savings absorb financial shocks and prevent debt spirals. So before you start fantasizing about upgrading your lifestyle, upgrade your breathing room. Because when you have money set aside, you negotiate better. You say no more easily. You stop acting desperate. And desperation is incredibly expensive. The next piece of your base is upgrade number 7 from our blueprint, your financial operating system. This is where adults separate themselves from amateurs. If your money is starting to move and you don't have separate accounts, a real budget, a simple dashboard, automatic transfers, a dedicated tax bucket, and a bookkeeping routine, you don't have a wealth plan. You just have a mess. You don't need to be some sort of spreadsheet wizard, but you absolutely must know what's coming in, what's going out, what you owe, and what you own. Confusion is expensive, guys. Get a system. Rounding out your base is upgrade 8, protection. Look, most people only think about offense, right? Making more money. But wealthy thinking is protected thinking. The Federal Trade Commission notes that a simple free credit freeze can make it significantly harder for criminals to open accounts in your name. It's boring today, but it is brilliant later. And if you're in the U.S., utilizing a health savings account gives you tax-free growth and withdrawals from medical expenses, according to the IRS. Once you've built something, your job is to aggressively defend it. Moving right along to Section 3, upgrading your internal engine. We're talking sleep, workspace, and circle. Look at this number. This is shocking. 0.05%. This brings us to upgrade 5, your sleep. The CDC literally states that being awake for 17 hours impairs you similarly to a blood alcohol concentration of 0.05%. Exhausted people make terrible financial decisions. They overestimate risk, they buy stupid things to feel better, and they argue way more. Some people try to run businesses and make massive life decisions with the mental sharpness of someone who's half drunk, and they call it hustle. Guys, that's not hustle, that's self-sabotage. Upgrade your mattress, buy blackout curtains, do whatever it takes. A well-rested mind earns better and lasts longer. Next up is upgrade 4, your workspace. If you sit at a desk all day, your setup is not a decoration, it is infrastructure. You cannot build a massive future from a dining chair that makes your back sound like bubble wrap. CDC research actually links sit-stand workstations with sharp drops in upper back and neck pain. A bad setup quietly taxes your stamina every single day, while a good setup pays you back in intense focus and consistency. Upgrade your chair, fix your screen height, get better lighting. Treat your desk like the engine it is. And this brilliantly illustrates a vital concept about the people you spend time with. Your circle is not just who you know, it's what you repeatedly absorb. The wrong people will punish your growth with little jokes and make your discipline look like arrogance. If everyone around you wastes their weekends and actively avoids learning, well, building wealth starts to feel totally unnatural. Upgrade the voices around you. Spend time with people who take ownership and build things. Now for Section 4, maximizing your daily output. Skills, time, and tools. Upgrade 2 is your skills. Honestly, this might be the highest return upgrade on the entire list. Because when you buy a fancy thing, you get a short little burst of excitement. But when you buy a skill, you get paid again and again and again. A skill feeds you for years. And this matters now more than ever, because the World Economic Forum says employers expect 39% of workers' core skills to change by 2030. Let me translate that into plain English. If your income depends on skills that are getting cheaper or easier to automate, standing still is not safe. Standing still is literally moving backwards. Edit the course, pay for the software, practice the craft. The ability to create income on demand changes absolutely everything. Which perfectly sets up Upgrade 3, your time. This is where people start making one of the dumbest mistakes in personal finance. They become a little wealthier, but continue behaving like their time is worth nothing. They'll spend an entire Saturday doing $12 an hour tasks while claiming they want a six-figure life. It makes no sense. US data shows Americans spend about 2 hours a day on average doing household activities, life admin that just eats your week alive. If you are trying to grow a business or study a high-income skill, paying for convenience isn't laziness. It is leverage. Maybe that means grocery delivery or a virtual assistant. Buying back time is a strategic necessity. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between consumer thinking and builder thinking when we talk about Upgrade 6, your tools. Amateurs will go out and finance a shiny car without blinking, but they'll completely talk themselves out of a piece of software that could save them 10 hours a month. Builders treat business expenses like fuel. They look at a tool and ask, does this increase my output or free up enough of my time to make the money back? Amateurs buy status, professionals buy output. We have finally reached Section 5, the ultimate wealth upgrade, life experiences. This is Upgrade 10, your experiences. After you have built the foundation, protected it, and optimized your daily output, what is all this money actually meant to facilitate? I am definitely not telling you to go buy an overpriced watch for online validation. Research out of Cornell actually shows that enduring satisfaction comes from experiences, not possessions. Material stuff gives you a quick high and then just becomes normal, but a trip that totally changes your perspective, a challenge that reminds you you're alive, real quality time with your family, those become stories. They become your identity. That is what money is really for, not to decorate your ego, but to deepen your life. So the crucial point is how all of these elements work together as a cohesive system. These are your 10 builder upgrades: runway, skills, time, workspace, sleep, tools, money system, protection, circle, and experiences. Do these, and your money starts acting like a builder. Ignore them, and money just becomes a costume. If you want to look successful, sure, go buy status. But if you actually want to become successful, you have to build systems. It is a massive, massive difference. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought for this explainer. Will your money be a costume or a builder? Are you going to upgrade what people can see, or will you upgrade what actually changes your future? The choice is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep building, and I'll see you in the next explainer.